Senior Life Journeys presents Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia, a podcast designed to help caregivers find knowledge, power, hope, and smiles in their dementia caregiving journey. Welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. Here is your host, best-selling author, Carol Howell.
Thank you for joining me on today's episode. Today, we are talking about National Hispanic Heritage Month. That's some kind of interesting thing to think about when, in our world, we celebrate all kinds of things. We have days in memory of politicians. Well, maybe not politicians. Well, maybe we do. But definitely in memory of or in honor of presidents, religious holidays, groups of people, pumpkins. I don't know about that one. Halloween, I don't get Halloween so much. If you want your kid to have candy, that's fine. But I ain't buying it. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and most of all, my birthday. But September 15th through October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month for the year 2019. By the time you see this show, we may be long past that. But let's talk about the Latino Americans and the Hispanic Americans and what they have to do with dementia. Because after all, this is called Let's Talk Dementia. First of all, let's stop and think about how in our world there are people from all over. You don't very often come up upon someone whose background is totally from America. I mean, can you even do that? I mean, the first people who came here, were the Indians, and then the folks that came over on the Mayflower. So we right off the bat brought together two different ethnicities, and we've grown and grown and grown from that. So we're all a mixed race people, are we not? Yeah, I think we are. If you do a little background on who your parents' were. But the Hispanics and Latinos in this country, there are a lot of folks that have that as their origin. According to the statistic I looked up, about 17% of the total U.S. population is Hispanic or Latino. That's 63 million people. That's a lot of people. In the United States specifically, by percentage, the Hispanic Latino population is highest in New Mexico, and by number, in New Mexico it's 47%, but by number it's highest in California with 14 million Hispanics or Latinos. That's a lot of people. So we are a diverse nation. We need to welcome everyone. I don't know where we get off thinking that we're better than somebody else. I got news for you. You're not. You're just not. We're all God's people. We all need to be treated, welcomed, and friendly and warm and be there for each other. Makes me think about my husband and I walk quite a lot, as I've told you before, because it's good for our heart and it's good for our brain. It's good for our emotions. Oh, it's good for lots of things. But we, for, a couple of weeks, would pass by on the other side of the road a couple that was obviously Indian. Based on how she dressed, that was my assumption. And we would wave and smile, and keep on going. And I'm like, we're not doing this anymore. We are going to make a point to speak to these people and get their names. And we did, and they were so friendly. Now, this southern white girl did have a bit of trouble understanding what they said their names were. Asked them to spell it. Typed it into my little phone. Got my phone up here and typed in their names. And I have it. So now I can get it in my brain and call them by name. Treating people kindly. That's all about what good dementia caregiving is. And I've told you what you learn about good dementia caregiving carries into your day-to-day life of just being a good person. Now, enough of that. But in this realizing that we're all people, we should realize that we all, no matter where we're from, are experiencing the devastation of dementia. It just drives me crazy when people go, I don't know anybody with dementia. Are you living under a dang rock? Because it's everywhere. It's just everywhere. So our cultures and our differences as humans can influence our health, and therefore it can influence our risk for disease, right? Did you know the risk of Alzheimer's among Latinos is over the age of 65 is higher than any other population? That's concerning. So now the question would be, why is that true? Well, a study was done that found Latinos with Alzheimer's disease were much more likely than blacks and non-Latino whites to have blood vessel problems in the brain. So they're thinking there's a possibility of blood vessel disease as a strong indicator for Alzheimer's in the Latino population. A study in California found the rate of Alzheimer's really strong among Latino adults and to be 1.5 times higher than that of white adults. A connection studied also the higher risk of diabetes among Latinos. So let's talk about that a minute. There's a high risk of diabetes among Latinos. Well, if you've listened to this show very much, I've been telling you what you put in your body will directly affect what comes out of your body. What you do to your body will directly affect what your body does for you. And if you are eating what I call crap food, you know what that is, the preservative food, the stuff in a bag, the stuff in a box, the stuff that's been baked, the stuff filled with sugar, and all that nasty carbohydrates are too high, but all that nasty cholesterol that's clogging up your arteries, all the crap food. If that's what you're living off of, or even having fairly often, you're not doing a good thing for your body. You're increasing your risk of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is so closely linked to Alzheimer's that Alzheimer's is often called type 3 diabetes. It's just an incredible connection between Alzheimer's and diabetes. It's very scary is what it is. But for most of us, now with juvenile diabetes it's different, I understand, but for most of us that are experiencing problems with our sugar, it's based on what you're not doing or what you are doing. It's based on the fact that you're making poor decisions, poor choices. Honey, that's something you can control. Now, would I like to have chocolate chip ice cream every day? Yes, of course. Would I like to put Reese's peanut butter cups in my chocolate chip ice cream? Yes, of course. Do I remember seeing my mama lay for 24 days and not eat, and then not drink for 3 days, and only saying a handful of words as Alzheimer's took her life? Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days very clearly. Let's weigh that. Do I really want that ice cream, or do I not want to have Alzheimer's? Ooh, I do not want to have Alzheimer's. I do not want to have diabetes. I do not want to have heart disease. All of these things are things for which we have a large percentage of control. You know, healthy eating, especially if you do vegan style eating, can actually reverse heart disease. Did you know that eating healthy, resting properly, good exercise, eating, resting, good exercise, being in a group of faith, a community of faith, eating with other people, all of these things come together. It's the Blue Zone's way of eating. All of these things come together and can actually help build the hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus is that part of the brain that's so diseased by Alzheimer's. That's where the new memories are first started. They land on the hippocampus, and it's so diseased by Alzheimer's. We can help fix that by doing the right things. We're going to be talking about those right things in upcoming episodes. Well, for a long time, I got to drill this into your head that we got to do the right things. And am I doing it perfectly? Heck no. I stepped on the scales this morning and went, oh crap. You know, I must have on my heavy underwear. I wanted to blame it on that, but it wasn't that. So it's just so easy to get off track. Now, I'm very good with my exercise. I'm walking and riding my bike and getting in the pool and walking in the pool. But sometimes French fries enter my world. I'm telling you, French fries have got to go to H-E double toothpick and stay there because they're killing us. Don't do that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about it more in the future. Eating healthy, exercising, all this stuff. It's imperative for good brain health, for good heart health, for good gut health. And there's a connection for all of that. So a special hello to all of our Hispanic and Latino American viewers and listeners, and I'm glad you're joining us. Thank you for joining me today on Let's Talk Dementia. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Let's Talk Dementia. I hope you learned something that will help you in your caregiving journey. Be sure to write me, carol@letstalkdementia.org, and I will write you back. A special thank you to our sponsors, National Association of Veterans and Families. You can reach them at 800-352-2919, or their website is www.navf.org. They will help you in obtaining benefits for the veteran, the spouse of the veteran, veteran, or both. Tell them Carol sent you. Also, HD Imports, located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's York County. 803-985-0985. They are there to help repair and maintain your Honda, your Hyundai, your Toyota, your Kia, and your Acura. Oh my goodness, amazing, wonderful mechanics. We used them for years before we moved away. And then Editor Beth, my good friend Beth Crosby, you need to get in touch with her. If you have produced anything in the written form, she's going to make sure you've got it all grammatically correct. She knows her stuff. You can reach her at editorbeth.com. Be sure and tell all these folks that Carol sent you, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us today for Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia. To learn more about dementia, we recommend Carol's best-selling book, also titled Let's Talk Dementia. It's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle versions. Be sure to like Let's Talk Dementia on Facebook and leave us a kind word of review on iTunes. Remember, knowledge brings power. Power brings hope. Hope brings smiles. And we all need more smiles. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be right here when you come back to Let's Talk Dementia.